Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got the mighty Gator Unleashed here coming at you. Glad that you guys could tune in. Um, got some stuff on my mind today. Actually saw another video that kind of got this on my mind. I'm going to do 5 guns that every American should have. Um, and this is not a video about each gun in particular as much as it is just a weapon of that type. Um, Everybody likes their own things, and I don't get into telling you what's better than this or what's worse or this, that, and the other. Um, but I think we all need to have some kind of small revolver. Um, now I like the Smith and Wesson Centennial. Oh, this is our weight. This is something that you can load with. I just like 38s. You may want 38 plus P. That's up to you completely. I don't really mind 38 plus P in this. 38s are just a little easier to shoot though. Um, at the range, I certainly use just regular 38s. Oh, I mean, but 38 plus P does pack more punch. You just have to determine if you need more punch or not. All these weapons are unloaded today that we'll be looking at. But I mean, yeah, revolver, just ultra reliable. This does not have the exposed hammer. That's one reason I like this. And as I mentioned, it's light. You could put this in your pocket if you had to. You get all kinds of little super nice, super comfortable holsters for this. A lot of advantages to conceal carry. You know, you can take this and um, if you got a gun, if you're open carry, which I've done a lot my whole life, because I live in a small town and everybody pretty much knows each other. But if you're somewhere in situations where you around a lot of strangers, you never know who will take that as a threat or that you're looking for trouble or something. So, every situation's different. Like I say, I do like to open carry, but concealed carry works for a lot of people. It's very, very logical, reasonable way to have a means of defending yourself, of exercising your Second Amendment right. So many choices. It's just impossible to pick one really that works for everybody. There's several that works for me, but for the sake of having a revolver in my top 5 guns that every American needs to have, I'm gonna go with this as a gun that I would have, like I say, to keep with me about all the time, to have on your person about all the time. Because if it ain't with you, you can't save yourself with it. Already into 3 minutes here. Going to move right along. You got to have some kind of 9mm. You got to have some kind of full 9mm, I think. And again, this is all my opinions. For me, I like Glock. Glock has been really good. This is a Glock 45. I featured it on my channel. Oh, this is a full-size frame. This weapon is a full-size frame with a 19 slide. 17 rounds, 17 plus 1 factory, and you can make modifications. I'm going to get a trigger kit for this. There's no trigger kits available. Nobody's got them. Nobody has trigger kits right now. It's amazing what's happened to our world in the last 2 years. But regardless, you got to have some kind of full size 9mm. This is awesome for just so many things. This would be something that if we was into a more serious situation, this would be a much better weapon than this if you was in a shootout. As of right now, we still have a somewhat civilized society, though that's very much hanging on a thread. If things gets much worse, you may need something like this all the time, and you can still keep the 38 revolver in your pocket. I'm afraid we're going to see some really ugly stuff here before Biden gets through with us. Oh, another gun I would have to have, guys. I would have my Kel-Tec Sub 2000. This is just an absolute great. This is totally, to me, falls under the category of a weapon. This uses the same mag as the Glock the other Glock 19, the Glock 17, and the Glock 45. So for me personally, because I've got this and this, that's why I got this set like this. If push comes to shove, and we have a situation where you have to actually fight for your life, I think a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 and a matching Glock 9mm where you can interchange your magazines, I think that's a really good setup. This is also a weapon that you could do. You could almost do some hunting with this if push comes to shove. This is just an absolute fantastic weapon. If you've not shot these, you may be a little skeptical about why I would have this on the top 5 must-have firearms. These are just fantastic shooting weapons. I mean, this is just, and the longer barrel, I think this is a 16-inch barrel. It's also threaded. It gives the 9mm so much more velocity and just power. It's just really, this is a sub 2000 Gen 2. I don't know what the difference is in the Gen 1 and Gen 2. The Gen 2's been out for a while though, and it's supposedly, from what I've heard, an improvement over the Gen 1. This gun's been flawless. It's never had a misfire or malfunction, nothing, no way, shape, form, or fashion. It's just been perfect. Just a great weapon right there for any kind of mid-range. If you was, heaven forbid, in a situation where you was in a shootout or something, this will reach out so far, but that'll reach out farther. It's more accurate. It's got a 33 round mag. Of course, you can put that mag in this. If that did jam, toss it aside. Take your mags, stick it in this. You've got backup. Just a really good combination pistol and then a pistol caliber carbine. That's 3 guns. You got 2 more. You got to have a rifle. You got to have a rifle. Very, very debatable there. It was almost impossible for me to choose. If I didn't have the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 on this list, I would have chosen the AK-47 over the AR-15. But the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 is somewhat of a, for me, would work in the place of a short to mid-range shootout weapon. I think I like that really well. So with my rifle, I have to go with the AR-15. This is not loaded either. None of these are loaded. Practice safety. And you really, guys, you really got to practice safety. But yeah, if you can only have 5 weapons, you got to have an AR-15. You can do so much with these. These are just great shooters. Oh, they're accurate. If you could hunt with this, if you had to shoot something way out there, you might have to get some really mean 223 rounds or 5.56. But this is a very versatile weapon. It's a weapon you could use for home defense if you had to. Of course, there's some things I would grab before this. If somebody come in my home on me, I would probably grab a pistol. I would probably grab that Glock 45 if somebody come in the house on me, or maybe a shotgun. It just depends, I don't know. Everyone's want to be closer, right? And I keep something very close all the time. But yeah, I mean, you got to have a rifle. You got to have a carry pistol that you can have all the time. You got to have a full size. In my opinion, a 9mm. It's just totally versatile. The round is just fantastic. The rounds are cheaper than a 40 or a 45. Just your capacity is more than a 40 or a 45. It's just really hard to beat a 9mm full size pistol. Then you got to have something small that you can carry concealed. Then there's a lot of flexibility, and everybody's would be different. I throw the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 in just because it is just such a fantastic, in my mind, it's just a fantastic weapon. I mean, you can throw 33 9mm rounds out there as fast as you can pull the trigger. It is very accurate, much more than any pistol. It's easy to carry. You can put a sling on it and fold it. You can put it in a backpack. Just really, really impossible to beat. Rifle, there's so many of these AR-15 platforms out there. This is a Smith & Wesson Sporter 2. And like I say, there's just so many you can pick up for $700 or $800 that are just ultra reliable. If you get an AR-15, if you choose that for your rifle, you got to master cleaning it and taking care of it. You've got to keep an AR clean. They're much more finicky, especially compared to an AK-47. It's really hard for me to not put an AK-47 on my list, just because it's probably the best weapon of war that there's ever been. And certainly we don't want to go to war with nobody, but that don't mean we won't. We don't always get what we want, obviously. Um, but, what else you got to have? The next one is maybe the most important gun of all. Um, and again, it's not really a super tough choice for me, but it might be for you guys. But you got to have a shotgun, guys. You got to have a shotgun. I like the Mossberg platform. This is a Maverick 88. I featured it on the channel. This is squirrels, rabbits, anything. I mean, turkey, anything. This is your put food on the table firearm. You can take one of these and get you a 20-inch barrel. If you don't have one shotgun, you can make these very versatile. You can make this a home defense shotgun. You could get a slug barrel and put on it. You could deer hunt out to 80, 90, probably even 100 yards. Just this, like I said, this is the Maverick 88. I personally have a Mossberg 500 20 gauge. It's the Turkey Thug Camo Edition one, and I just about would put it on here instead of this one, but I think I would pick the 12 gauge over the 20 gauge. It's just, in a shotgun, I certainly want all the power I can get. I talk about over penetration on bullets, like I mentioned, using the 38s over 38 plus P in this. A shotgun is a different animal. I want all the power I can get. I want all the, if you shoot a turkey at 50, 45, 50 yards, you need all the mojo you can get out there. So I think I like a 12 gauge. That's just me. 20 gauge has advantages. It's still plenty powerful, and it's easier to shoot a little, but they still kick pretty good too. But yeah, that's just my top 5, guys. Must-have weapons. It's based somewhat on category versus just 5 weapons that are just in. I'm not saying these are the best 5 weapons you can get. I'm saying this category, you got to have a shotgun, you got to have a rifle, you got to have a full-size pistol, you've got to have. I think you need a revolver. You also have to have something that you can carry in your pocket and conceal. So for me, the revolver kills those 2 birds with 1 stone. I think the 38 is totally adequate for that. And then there's some versatility in what else you could get and throw in there. You might want a 22 rifle, which is hard not to put on there. You can do a whole lot with a 22 rifle. Ammo is cheap and abundant, great to go planking with. But I just can't not throw the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 on there. 9mm ammo, well, it is quite a bit higher than 22, but I mean, you can shoot this fairly affordable, especially if you can find some deals online or something to get some 9mm ammo. It's certainly not, I mean, it's just, this is just such a great weapon. I just love this weapon so much. So it kind of fills the role of just getting out and shooting and seeing how accurate you can be. It fills the role of a beginner's weapon. It's very easily to function. It functions great. It's very easily to manipulate. It doesn't have a lot of recoil. It does have a little bit, certainly a lot more than a 22 would have. But it's just hard not to put this on my list. It's also, as I mentioned, if you was in some kind of trouble, it's just short and easy to maneuver around. I mean, if you was in a deal where you had 6 or 7 people trying to, like the Kyle Rittenhouse guy that they literally tried to run down on the street and kill, and of course Biden and the same people that defend all thugs and mass murderers and things of that nature that vote for Joe Biden. That's the type of people that vote for Joe Biden. They tried to turn Kyle Rittenhouse. They tried to destroy his life. Regardless, that's another story. If somebody's running you down, I mean, this is just a great weapon for something like that. It would just be a great weapon. I just can't say it no other way. So I have to put that on my list, guys. And there's all kinds of different carbines. There's all kinds of AR-style, pistol caliber AR-style carbines. And as far as that goes, you can even get AR pistols. Um, the thing that's about AR is, like I sort of touched on, I actually actually feel like an AK-47 is a much better rifle. The only reason I put the AR on here over the AK, um, is it is also something that younger people could shoot, women could shoot if you was in a, which they could shoot AK also, but they would enjoy shooting a woman would enjoy shooting the AR-15 much, much more. And if push comes to shove, you may have to put a weapon in your wife's hands and teach her how to shoot it right fast, I mean, or not right fast. Hopefully you've got the basics covered, and this is something that she could be more effective with. In my opinion, a woman could be more effective quicker with this than they could an AK-47. Um, but still, if you've got an AK-47 on your list, you have my total respect. I mean, AK is awesome. Um, Matter of fact, if I could only have one weapon, period, if I could only have one firearm, AK would maybe be it. So it's strange that it wouldn't be on my top 5 weapons every American must have, but um, this is just a little more with the other 4 guns added in. This just makes for a nice addition. In my opinion, this would be, you could be more accurate with this easier than you could with AR if you was in a situation where you were shooting long range. Um, there's some advantages to the AR, no doubt, and the AR is a good platform. It's reliable. They're way better than they used to be. I would recommend getting one with forward assist and as good of an AR as you can afford, at least. I always touch on the budget. Everybody's budget's different, and your budget plays a huge role in what you can get. But yeah, that's kind of all I got, guys. I hope you guys get something out of this. Just some food for thought. Hopefully, we're never in a situation where where it's a push comes to shove, and we have to defend our property and our homes. Hopefully, we can maintain somewhat of a civil society, but it's very difficult when you've got the President of the United States having an address to the nation calling over half of the country extremists, because we're for securing the southern border, because we're for the right to bear arms, because we're for freedom of speech, basically because we're for the Constitution. It's really hard to swallow. How anybody can defend this administration is beyond me. You're not an American. You're not a logical thinking American. The only way you could possibly defend that horse shit is if you've been to college for many, many years. Because college, that's what college does to you. It destroys you. That's another story, though. Top 5 guns, guys. Hope you guys got something out of this. I mean, over 18 minutes. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe. Kentucky Wildcats, we won another football game yesterday. We're 4-0. And to be honest with you, we're a little sluggish on offense. Worries me a little bit. But it's all good. Guys, we'll catch you on the next video. Have a great week. The mighty Gator Unleashed will return.